This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by up-and-coming featherweight prospect Adam Lopez. I say up-and-coming, but you've been around for quite a while, Adam. How are you? How is life over in America?
I'm doing good, man. Having a good morning so far. Having a good training camp. Looking forward to my next fight next week.
We'll get into that. Obviously, I know it's very early where you are and you've got a busy day ahead of you. So let's get into your fight next week. Talk to me about kind of your preparations this time around, working with Buddy, working through COVID for your second fight in a fight bubble. How have you found it, and your experiences from your first camp, again, being due to COVID? How are you finding trying to manage it differently this time round?
Well, last fight, COVID was very fresh, so not too many people knew exactly how to handle it and what the precautions were. So they were very strict. Um, Everything's a little more lenient now. Still taking the precautions as necessary. I heard the bubble in Vegas is a little more lenient. Unfortunately, I did catch COVID last year, so I got it. I got sick. It wasn't too bad. I passed it. I'm good now. I feel fine now. But yeah, I did get COVID.
Talk about that, Adam. As a fighter with COVID, people they try to make their own assumptions as to how everybody will deal with it. As a fighter, you're active, you're training every day, you eat well. Do you feel like it did still hit you in a very, very rough and tough manner, or do you feel like because of what you do for a living, it aided your kind of the way that you was able to deal with it?
Yeah, I think because of how healthy I am, it didn't really hit me too bad. I was sick for about three days, but my coach had gotten it, and he wasn't the healthiest. My coach Ivan, and he was sick. He said for about 2 weeks. He said he was in bed, and he said it was very very bad, and he was going through it. So I definitely think how healthy you are and how well you take care of your body is definitely going to change. It's going to affect how it hits you.
Going back once again and just reflecting on your victory last year against Luis Corina, what's kind of your reflections on it?
That was a very tough fight. Very, very tough fight. Louis came to fight. He was there to win. He wanted to win that night. I had a tough training camp. I only trained for about 5 weeks. I went from quarantine, not training at all, to bam, jump in the gym, get ready for a fight. And typically I'm the type of fighter where I'm in the gym every day no matter what. So it was kind of a weird training camp for me. It was something new I've never done, just not training at all to get up and get ready for a fight in 5 weeks. So it was definitely something that a learning lesson I got to take. I can't just jump on fights like that. Even if my weight's good, I can't just jump on a fight.
What's it like as a fighter? Are you waiting for the scorecards to be announced? It ended up being a majority decision in your favor. When you're in the ring, are you confident in your own mind, or are you concerned? Are you worried that things aren't going to go your way?
That fight, I was like, I hope they don't give it a draw. I hope they still give me the fight. I didn't think I lost the fight because I thought I was started to. I think the beginning of the fight, he was winning the early rounds, and then I started taking over and I started boxing him. So I thought it could have been a draw, but I had a feeling I still won. But then once I went back and I watched the fight over a few times, I was like, oh yeah, I won the fight. Like he won some rounds. It was a close fight, but I definitely won more rounds than he did, and I landed some clean shots and I controlled the fight.
Moving on to your next fight, you mentioned next week you're stepping into the ring once again, this time around with Jason Sanchez. One similar fight that you've had, no, not necessarily similar fight, but one name that you've both shared the ring with is Oscar Valdez. Do you take anything from the fact that you've both fought him, and in his case, he lost by decision, where obviously in your case, you were stopped by Oscar?
Yeah. Well, with my fight, everyone kind of saw what happened. They shouldn't have stopped that fight. I was winning the whole fight. I was controlling the fight. I took the fight on a day's notice. I was not ready for that fight. That fight again, I only got to train 3 weeks for because I was dealing with management issues. I feel like if I was given the opportunity Jason had with the full training camp, knowing who he was going to fight, I would have been a world champ that night. I definitely would have beat him. Jason's a good opponent. He's tough. He's there. He wants to win. But I think when I fight him, there's gonna be a clear view of levels in there, and they're gonna see that he shouldn't be in there with me, and I'm gonna try my best to get him out of there.
How does this fight with Jason Sanchez play out in your eyes, Adam?
Like I said, he's tough. I know he's gonna come in. He's gonna come in to fight. Um, so I'm gonna use my skills early on. I'm gonna box him. I'm gonna make him miss. I'm gonna make him very frustrated. And once mentally he's kind of not all there, that's where I'm gonna plan my attack and I'm gonna get him out of there.
Do you feel a pressure to? You said to me a couple of answers ago you want to get the stoppage, and that's what you'll look to do. Do you feel a pressure to deliver, if not necessarily a stoppage, just an emphatic performance on the back of your majority decision win last time?
Yeah, I feel like I need it for myself. I feel like I definitely want to make a statement in the featherweight division. The kid's never been stopped. I try not to pay too much attention to everyone's outside views and all that, but for myself, I definitely need to I definitely to make this a statement fight.
A successful night for you next week, Adam. I'm sure you've thought about kind of what could be in store for you further on down the line this year. What would you like to achieve? Where would a win next weekend and an emphatic win leave you?
Um, well, I spoke to the management team, Sheer Sports, and I told them get me as many fights as you can the first 6 months of the year. I said I don't care how much I'm getting paid. I'll take pennies for right now. I just want to fight. I just want to get my name out there. I want to get ranked. So I told them the first 6 months, gave me at least three, 4 fights, and then in the end of the year, I want to shoot for a world title.
Adam, what do you make of a world scene at featherweight? There's some brilliant talents to get involved with once you reach it and you are up there.
What was that?
What do you make of a world scene at featherweight, the world champions and the top contenders?
Um, what do you mean? What I make it?
What do you make of like kind of how competitive it is and the talents that the featherweight division possesses?
It's I mean, it's kind of all with the business. It's all kind of parted ways. Though I think the one that's reachable for me is Navarrete. Um, he just got the WBO title. He's very tough. He hits hard. He's tall. He's long. He's definitely an awkward fighter. But I see a lot of holes in his game. But then you also have, fighters like Josh Warrington, who's very, very tough. And, he's been around for a while. I don't know how long he'll be at 126, but he's a tough champ. And then you have Gary Russell Jr., who's with Al Heyman. So I don't know how hard that would be able to make as well because of the business side. So I know how I'm learning more and more how the boxing business works. So I'm just gonna go with what's right in front of me. I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna make my fights happen. I'm gonna build my fan base, and I'm gonna enjoy doing it.
What do you make of the business side to things, Adam? It's interesting you mentioned it there because over in the UK, there's always talks about kind of trying to make fights between fighters who are with different promoters and how difficult that can be. You said you're learning more about that now. What do you make of it all, and how much of an inconvenience it could be on your career if certain fights could not be made because of a cross promotional status?
Yeah, it's sad. It's kind of like tainted such a beautiful sport. Um, I love boxing, but the business side really kind of pushes you away from it. It doesn't want you to get inside of it because there's so much unfair stuff going on. There's so many different champions in one weight class, and each promoter has one, and they don't want to fight each other. So who's the real champ here? You know what I'm saying? It's really hard. I mean, that's why so many people gave so much praise to Teofimo when he stepped up and he challenged Lomachenko and he did what he did. Because you don't see that nowadays. You really don't see a champ go after another champ and push for it and make it happen and be confident about it. But yeah, the business side, it's tough. You got to learn. I learned the hard way. When I came up as a pro, I didn't know what to expect. I just said, okay, I'm gonna fight whoever they throw in front of me, and I did it. And I fought everybody. I fought on the B side. I fought for no money. I said I'm gonna fight everybody, and eventually they're gonna see who I am, and I'm gonna make some noise. And I did. And then I suffered a loss, and I saw how it pushed me back. And that's when I started looking more into the business side. I was like, why am I always on the B side? Why am I always the guy losing the close fights? And that's when my coach Buddy McGirt said, you need to get a promoter. You need to get someone backing you and someone taking care of you and making sure that you're in the right position. So then we reached out to Top Rank. We got hooked up with them, got a good little contract with them, and now I've been learning more. I ask my managers everything, every question I can ask them, like what's going on, give me the details. I need to hear everything, because I know how it is, and they're a great management team. They tell me everything. They fill me in with every detail they can. But yeah, the business side, it's tough. You know, you gotta have thick skin. You gotta be ready for anything.
Just to stick with the top competitors in your division, Adam, one fight you mentioned Josh Warrington. He was looking to face Kanju. That fight fell through at the 11th hour. We're looking at possibly seeing that one later on in this year. If we was to see Josh Warrington versus Kanju, what are your thoughts?
Kanju, I don't think I heard of Kanju.
Kanju holds the WBA regular title, I believe.
Oh, the he's from China, right?
China, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a really good fight. I think Warrington would dog him out. I think he's too tough. I think he'd come forward and break him down. I've only seen Kanju fight once when he fought Manny Robles. He was a friend of mine, so I saw that fight. I didn't know who he was before that, but then I found out who he was during that fight. But I think Warrington would. I think he'd step to him and break him down.
Well, Adam, I know it's early in the morning, man. You've got a busy day ahead of you, so I'm going to leave you now to enjoy the rest of your day. But ahead of
Thank you.
everyone who's going to tune in to watch you next week, what would you like to say to them?
Um, be ready for a great, amazing fight. I've been training very hard. Like I said, I'm here to make a statement. Adam Lopez is coming for a world title this year.
Adam, it's been a pleasure to talk to you for the first time. I'm sure it will not be the last. Stay safe. Good luck next week, and thank you, Speed to Boxing Social.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.